What's going on here?
Prolonged eye contact.
Suck my cock, Kakarot! What would the mechanics of that even? Light, why won't you look at me during? Shane Salmon! Hey Z Squad, it's board game night at the Sohn House, and you're all invited. Who's in?
Nah, I'm there. Rain check?
You fucking paralyzed me, you goddamn maniac! Now, let's not be taking the Lord's name in vain, or I'll have to be taking your other half. So, this is currently happening to me. They shipped more than one copy of this game to global retailers on purpose. And we consented to it. I consented to it. With legal tender, I did this. Let's just put this into perspective. Stepping off of the previous Budokai game, I'm not ashamed to say I was salivating at the very concept of this sequel. Oh, fuck. A cinematic retelling of Dragon Ball Z's entire mythos? Harder, daddy. More of those titillating 3D cutscenes with the cutting-edge technology of a singular potato? Call me scum and make me beg for my life. How could this game be anything less than legendary?
You dummy!
All of the pain, the trauma I've endured on this cursed earth during 32 agonizing rotations around the sun, and 2003's Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 for the PlayStation 2, later ported to the GameCube. That is what broke me. And so began a years-long cycle of self-inflicted disappointment, waiting for any of these adaptations to give me what Budokai 1 gave me that one time, covering the entire series in the same format as the show. And while I never quite got that exactly, the sheer and unfathomable amount of times I had seen this story told again, and 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 again, I may not have appreciated what Dragon World was trying to do. Yup, gonna dick slap you with a massive plot twist right out the gate. I actually kinda don't not like the concept of Dragon World now. Oh, it's bare bones, repetitive, tedious, a lot of synonyms really involved in this. But at least it did something different. I mean, look at this and tell me you've ever seen it before, or since. Later games chained themselves to canon so tightly, it squeezed out any bit of creativity, merely existing out of obligation. No other game can claim to do what Dragon World did with the story of the show. So, okay, it's certainly the most unique adaptation we're gonna get, but does that make it good? Or is it simply a car wreck that I can't look away from? Dragon World acts as a loose adaptation of Dragon Ball Z's major story beats, like I said before, in the spirit of Mario Party. Taking on the role of Goku and one or two non-Goku, you run around a board based on a setting from either the show or, on occasion, Atari's rectal cavity, trading off turns with the enemy to collect power-ups, zenny, and items, with the main goal of each level generally being to defeat the big bad of the arc while fighting off a series of goons associated with them. With Majin Buu cannibalizing Frieza in the hyperbolic time chamber and morphing into your sleep paralysis demon is not a dead giveaway, liberties were taken with the narrative. In show canon, Raditz the Hedgehog drops a truth bomb.
I am not gay.
That means you're gay.
Then 1 year later, Mr. Clean commits Game of Thrones, and of course, peak fiction happens. Here, Raditz and Nappa attack Earth together in search of the Dragon Balls, Vegeta making no appearance, of course. Then once you collect old Grandpa Gohan, you move on to the next logical area, Muscle Tower. Straight from the Red Ribbon Army saga. To battle Frieza, straight from very not that saga, and 40% of the Ginyu Force from the same not that saga. My goddamn laundry is ready. Hold on a sec. Okay, in the community laundry room, someone put their fucking empty laundry basket on the washer I was using, and if that person is watching this video right now, I hate you. And never sleep again. After chasing the interstellar Nazi twink off planet, you traverse the planet Namek to finish the job. Not a word about the Z-Fighters who were slain by Nappa and not Vegeta. Speaking of Vegeta, you run into Vegeta and are gaslit into thinking the game did anything to establish Vegeta. Then you punch Vegeta into becoming a Goku and you go back to fighting Frieza, who descends into a gamer rage and blows up the planet, which I guess is in the same area code as canon.
Darn it! Darn it all!
What's the fucking language?
Mere seconds after returning to Earth, this happens.
Red Ribbon Army? That's right. Oh no!
Come. I am an android, created to android. Goku, I am gay.
Well, you see, actually,
My name is Cell. Perfect form.
After that weaponized sensory overload, Goku has a Star Wars, which leads us to fight with Majin Buu, a story that gets a fair amount more coverage than the preceding arcs for understandable reasons. This definitely felt like the area the game really wanted to get to, as the board design actually started to get a bit more creative at this point, though even then, the approach to adapting the narrative is in broad strokes. If you're looking for an all-encompassing retelling all of the Ninja Storm games, you'll be as disappointed as Baby Nate was. However, there is a decent amount of charm to be found in this Candyland approach to a beloved 80s anime. While the story doesn't see any major shifts, it's refreshing to be able to take different combinations of characters through story beats that they weren't relevant in. In the case of the Earthlings, that is, of course, most of them. My favorite episode was the one where Videl fought a yellow Cyberman. My favorite episode was the one where Videl fought a blue Cyberman. My favorite episode is when Goten killed his uncle at age -7. Be sure to check on the power scalers in your life today.
now go, my Cyber Rangers! Do away!
Am I having a stroke right now? With the freedom allotted to the player, skill editing makes a seamless transition into this new campaign. You're no longer beholden to canon and can go into levels with a fully customized loadout for each of your characters. Full disclosure, in order to get the New Game Plus footage, I was a little naughty.
How do you not hate yourself?
Any skill you unlock can be retained in subsequent playthroughs, which adds a touch of replayability. Okay, I'll explain the joke. You are the coughing baby. Of course, this system is so easy to break thanks in no small part to the unforgivable war crime of equipping viral heart disease and vaccine. This is fascism. By definition, I am the supreme leader. When we hit the Buu Saga, the game reaches a borderline blasphemous level of poetic license. Okay, so we gotta spend 5 of the 9 stages fighting Buu's various forms, and that can naturally get a little repetitive. So, video game developer number 413 decided, you know what, Babidi can raise the dead, I've decided, and programmed Frieza and Cell to appear throughout the last half of the game. Then he did the rest of the cocaine in the office and fucking died! And in reverence, the other 412 developers implemented his other ludicrously illegal ideas.
I like your head. I think I'll take it.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
This isn't supposed to be who we are. Special mention, of course, has to go to the last 2 levels. In addition to being a ludicrous difficulty spike, the penultimate mission is the most open-ended level in the game, giving you access to the Elder Kai-powered Gohan, but giving the same access to Buu should Gohan lose one fight with him.
You just can't do that!
It's a very clever use of canon that adds consequences to the battle unseen to this point. But despite that, you're allowed an exit strategy since a rendezvous with the Supreme Kai will unlock the Potara earring, which allows players access to the Polygamy King himself. It's a smart way to make the player navigate the canon of the show, not as a be-all way to beat the game, but just to give them an advantage in fighting a much harder boss. Normally, you would be like, cutscene Gohan fight, cutscene Vegito. But this one makes you work to get to the plot points of the game that they're adapting. And I just think that's neat. The final level on the opposite side of the spectrum is Avengers Endgame, flooding the arena with Cell Juniors and Cybermen while previous Saga villains just vibe there as optional bosses. Honestly, this is kind of what the final fight should have been. It's a little lame that after all the build-up, all the various plot points they set up in the Buu Saga, The be-all way to beat Majin Buu was a goddamn spirit bomb! You didn't even consider bringing Gohan there. He's stronger than both of you at this point. The saga would just end. All the while, you're forced to navigate a non-linear path to reach the final battle with Kid Buu. It's a really well-done challenge and a chaotically fun way to cap off this weird, awesome game.
Now I know what you're thinking. Wow, you absolute paragon of masculinity. Sounds like you really like this game.
Well, you see, actually,
While I still don't dislike the concept of it, I also wouldn't say I'm not someone who doesn't mostly hate it. First of all, while the premise of each level is simple in design, it does also lead to a lot of unnecessary repetition. Since victory in this game comes down to approaching and fighting the same boss around 3 or 4 times, while occasionally having to deal with the aforementioned goons. Now, the game does a few things to alleviate this, to be fair. One of which is being able to knock 2 lives off of a freshly fought and dazed enemy. While this is definitely a band-aid for a self-inflicted wound, it is a decent quality of life feature that I found myself taking advantage of more often than not. There's also the use of alternate spaces that add a different gimmick to each fight, be it the inability to block, starting the fight at half health, or with 0 ki. It does in theory add a bit of variety to battles, but since you can win in this game with relentless button mashing almost every time, it really wasn't enough to be noticeable. For perspective, this paragraph is the last thing I'm writing for this review. Now maybe the repetition isn't bad enough for you to dismiss this game, and that's fine, but, and I will admit this is a very personal point, the only reason I really took notice of this, and the real reason I have such a complicated relationship with this mode, is because most of my memories of playing it are tainted by the hours I've wasted trying in vain to unlock this game's cast of characters. Now, the trick to doing this is to match specific heroes up with the villains that they kind of have a canonical connection with. No, I will not say that 3 times fast. You're not even my real father! These matchups range from blindingly obvious to slightly esoteric with a degree of logic behind them to someone on the dev team went through a bitter and most likely violent divorce and has decided to make it my problem. It's not a bad mechanic. It really isn't. In theory, I feel like I'm saying that a lot. It's an engaging gameplay loop that adds a lot of replayability while testing players' knowledge of the show. And it's not that, but it's also a fairly blatant way to artificially lengthen playtime. For starters, there are certain villains that unlock more than one character depending on who fights them, and even with the canon bending this game indulges in, you're still strong-armed into performing the character matchup on whatever stage the game sees fit, regardless of how many appearances said villain has in the game. So, you're not gonna unlock every character in one run, and that's totally fine, except for the fact that there is no post-game stage select. Every time you pick Dragon World, you have to start from the Saiyan Saga. No joke, I was hunting high and low for infinity, keeping an electric eye out, and it really warped my opinion of this mode. But here are 4 words to choke upon. That is the game. And I defy you to prove me wrong. Just stop. Didn't I kill you? Now for a fucking thought experiment. Let's say you're a plucky middle schooler who hasn't yet discovered the wonder of online walkthroughs, firing this game up on a summer day because the outside world is a plague and people were God's last mistake. And you're naturally going ass fuck insane trying to unlock the woman who unlocked your puberty. And let's also say, for the sake of argument, you've replayed this campaign trying to do this so many times you see Giro and the amazing Technicolor Cybermen every time you close your eyes, so you're desperate enough to match Krillin up against Raccoon because the latter kicked the prior that one time, and oh, uck my funkle, that's not how you spell Videl! Back to Raditz you go, you inferior being! Short hair Videl is best Fidel, don't at me. I will stab you until you're done being stabbed because you're dead. I will freely admit, this is self-inflicted. But the charm of this mode evaporates when replayability is forced on you like this. Now, this mode has its fans, so to round out this compliment sandwich, while the story does take a lot of liberties with what it's adapting, it also paradoxically ties itself to canon with very minimal and soul-crushingly inconsequential Why is that a word I can't say? With very minimal and soul-crushingly inconsequential what-if scenarios.
What, you expect me to afford a second slice of bread on a video editor's salary? Fuck you! I'm not expecting Arkham City levels of artistic license, but I can't help but feeling a bit deflated at these stock text lines from characters that weren't canonically there. Imagine if Great Saiyaman met the Ginyu Force, or Supreme Kai verbally demolished Frieza. Why is that a word I can't say? Or hell, just imagine an interaction between these two. What's wrong, Baldy? Cat got your nose? Pink faggot. Time for a pop quiz. Yeah, that's right. I didn't tell you it was happening, but it's happening. What is the most iconic thing in Dragon Ball history? That's right, fusion. The possibilities that can be discovered by combining two fighters and their iconic abilities together is insanely creative enough to fill an entire game I never played. And Atari was way ahead of everyone where that's concerned because this game fucking ran with fusion, creating a slew of weird and awesome Budokai 2 exclusive OCs that you can't use! You wanna equip the skill? Well, let's yellowed it out. We can't very well have a game where you can fight off the androids with the dynamic duo of the Great Saiyaman and Gohan breaking canon, now can we? From what I've seen perusing the subreddits, my take on this mode is something of a warm one. And if you like it, then I like you. I won't act like I didn't have a good chunk of fun capturing the footage that you're currently watching. It allowed me to play around with canon, give some much-deserved screen time to some of my favorite characters, and I believe this is the only recorded time that the word Cyberman has passed Goku's lips. And that, my friend, ain't nothing. While it definitely broke up a lot of the tedium of playing as the same characters over and over again through the story, Dragon World is also unfortunately bogged down by frustrating repetition, lack of meaningful replayability, and some of the most beerus awful pacing to ever plague a Dragon Ball game. I mean, a good one at least. Such as having to fight Kid Buu 5 times, or when I entered a cosmic time loop with this Cell Jr. However, catch me on a rainy day during light jacket weather, in March, in like the fucking midnight-ish area where we're transitioning between March and April, when Jupiter is like fucking Mercury and Pluto has to watch, cuck-ass dwarf planet, I can fire this mode up and have a reasonably good time. I can't say the same about most of the half-hearted retreads of this story, so Budokai 2 will always have that. After all, what other game lets you exact some justice for the fallen Saiyan race as the prince finally soaks his hands in Frieza's cold blood? Back the fuck off, Kakarot. It's time for Atari to do what Toei never had the courage to. Oh, what's wrong, Frieza? Too hot for you? Oh, would you look at that? I'm the legendary fucking Super Saiyan. Who saw that coming? How's that for canon breaking? Speaking of breaking, have you met the Final Flash? It's not a perfect metaphor, but what do you care? Your bitch ass has been atomized, you motherfucker.
Will the Vegeta glazing ever end? How exactly do you pronounce this channel name? Is this video seriously ending with another bad fucking comment?
Oh god, it's everywhere. I think they missed an opportunity not calling Super Boom Majin 2. Subscribe and buy me a coffee. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers because the leprechaun from my dreams told me I couldn't, and I am simply not having that.